It is 17th of May in front of the Goethe University in Frankfurt am Main. The time is 5 minutes to 1 when one of the Blockupy Action Days march will start to make its route to the city's financial center. The march will then converge with other marches that are coming from other sides of this city. Before this time, today, the city has already seen various bands of buses and trains coming from other cities of Europe and Germany to demonstrate. There is less people than was thought before, but the march will still happen and there will be media and representatives of the government walking along with the protesters to protect their right to demonstrate.
This is what democracy looks like. 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 Ja, was soll das? Wir wollen hier demonstrieren. Doch, ich bin wütend. Ich will demonstrieren. Sie stehen mir hier auf dem Weg und hindern mich daran zu demonstrieren. Ja, was soll das? Nein, das ist nicht das Leben. Das kann nicht das Leben sein. Damit gebe ich mich nicht ab. Lassen Sie mich hier durch, wir haben hier ein Recht zu demonstrieren. Ja, wir wollen hier unsere Meinung sagen und zwar dort. Ich nehme meinen Arm nicht runter, ich bin hier aufgebracht. Das ist eine Sauerei, was Sie hier machen. Ja, passen Sie auf, das ist eine Frechheit, was Sie hier machen. Ja, seit Tagen versuchen wir hier irgendwie zu demonstrieren und Sie lassen uns einfach nicht durch. Was soll das? Eine Frechheit. Wir wollen hier unsere Meinung kundtun und sagen, was hier los ist. Ja, dieses System, das ist der Hammer. Es gibt sich in Athen verrecken Menschen, weil sie nichts zu essen haben. Und dafür stehen sie hier und schützen die Leute. Das finde ich nicht in Ordnung. Ja, deswegen lassen Sie uns jetzt hier durch.
Scheiß Befehlen, was soll denn das überhaupt?
Hey!
Jetzt durch! Fahrt! Oh! E apriamo il problema che è lungo la giornata!
We are only a few hundred meters from the university where the march started. It is now 1:30 and the police has kettled all the demonstrators in a small group in the middle of one street. There is now a process of negotiation that has resulted in legislation of a prohibition of this kind of a big group. The group consists of no more than 200 people to make its way to the city center. The group has been granted permission to live in smaller groups, but as a group this big they will not be allowed to the city center.
So the plan is, if we decide for this, the plan is to walk in groups, like the 10-15 people, and in a distance that we can see each other, but not to build a demonstration. The other plan is to stay there. So please clap for which option? Option 1 with the groups. The second option, to stay here and have a rest and try it again later. Okay, that's clear.
It is now 2 o'clock. The police has made just 10 minutes ago a proposition for the demonstrators to leave peacefully in smaller groups than 10 people to go on their way with no sanctions. But now, just 10 minutes later, the police has taken away this proposition and says that it will detain all the demonstrators and take their identification. There is lots of more police arriving all the time.
Sie haben heute an einer nicht genehmigten und verbotenen Demonstration teilgenommen. Aus diesem Grund werden jetzt Maßnahmen gegen Sie ergriffen. Ihre Identität wird festgestellt und sie wird durchsucht.
Hello Dan, you were inside of this kettling of the demonstrators when the police gave 3 warnings, or so they said, to the demonstrators to peacefully disperse from the demonstration place. How did this situation seem to you?
Well, first of all, we're organizing a peaceful protest a spontaneous demonstration in order to protest against the ban on demonstrations put on in all of Frankfurt. We were leaving from this university campus and walked in chains, approached the police lines when they drove up and shoved us or surrounded us basically. And at this moment we negotiated with the police. We did not in any way provoke the situation. We negotiated in order to get to St. Paulsplatz where the demonstrations are going on, and there was a lot of people there. They gave us later, at some point after negotiations didn't result in really anything, or basically they had to sell us out by taking away all our options while negotiating. Then they gave us, at some point they used the loudspeakers to say that we are participating in a demonstration that is illegal because all demonstrations in the city have been banned, and that unless we disperse we will be arrested. But at this point, well, me and a couple of other people tried to ask the police, well, can we leave now then, because we got the order to disperse. Well, no, we couldn't. Then the same happened twice again, so that in total they gave us 3 dispersing commands, after all of which I asked the 1 or 2 closest standing officers whether or not we can leave, and then none of these questions resulted in free pass or safe passage. So well, then I eventually had to find other ways of getting out, but this is really problematic.
So the police said that the demonstrators can go if they go peacefully and end this demonstration and go in small groups, but when the demonstrators asked to go out, they were not let out.
Yes, this happened 3 times.
Hello, Johannes.
Hello.
So it's now almost 4 o'clock. It has been 2 hours since the police has kettled the demonstrators on the street.
Yeah.
Would you like to give us a brief explanation of how you see this situation at this moment?
Well, it's unbelievable what happens here. That they banned all demonstrations. They didn't allow anything. And well, in the morning we started to take our right to demonstrate and tried to leave the university ground. Went here on the streets, and then we got kettled by the police. And right now I've heard at the Paulsplatz, a central square in the city, there are already several more people, several hundred people. They put up the first tents. A quite known musician played there. And so the action is going on, and people are demonstrating that we have to demonstrate what is going on.
And there is no such kettling happening in that place?
At Paulsplatz at the moment there is no kettling happening, but at the main station there are also people kettled in. It's not sure what is going to happen with them. They didn't start to check names or whatever, but there are also several people kettled in.
So what is the police now doing with the people? The police is slowly taking people out from the kettle. So what is the police doing now?
They take the people out, they control their names, they check if they know them, they control their backpacks, see if they have black clothes, and then either they take them to custody until who knows when, maybe tomorrow, maybe Saturday, or they ban them for a specific area around here. Some are banned for the whole city, some have bans only for this area. Some have the ban until Saturday, some only until tomorrow morning. So it looks like they don't really know what to do, but yeah.
So the right to demonstrate is a constitutional right also in Germany, but it seems that there are many possible ways of making new quick laws or new legislations or rules about this kind of situation where people really want to demonstrate. So do you see that everything is happening inside of the law, or are we entering in a lawless state where the police with the authorities of different cities are choosing what can be happening?
I would say, yeah, at the moment we are in an unless state. Lawless state.
Yeah.
We are in a lawless state at the moment, and because it's, I mean, yeah, as you said, the right to demonstrate is a constitutional right, but they've forbidden everything. I've never saw such a situation that the courts, even the highest, the constitutional court, didn't allow anything. They just allowed the demonstration on Saturday. Everything else is banned at the moment, and that's really, really heavy, I would say. And so I hope that on Saturday there will be really many people to come and demonstrate for their right, just to demonstrate at the moment. It's not, I mean, we came here to say that what is going on with the European Central Bank, together with the Troika, what they do is not democracy anymore, because they aren't elected, but they decide where people have to cut the money. And that was our first aim to come here, and now we see even here democracy isn't happening anymore.
And we have to demonstrate for our right to demonstrate.
Yeah, exactly. I never thought that I would come in that situation, that I have to demonstrate just for the right to demonstrate. And yeah, I mean, this situation, what is changing at the moment in Europe, it's quite frightening, I would say. Because in Greece the last months the government wasn't elected, the Italian government isn't elected at the moment. That's unbelievable.
Hello, Jerome and Katerina.
Hello, Lotta.
You were walking today past the central railway station of Frankfurt am Main. Can you briefly explain us what happened?
Yeah, basically, I mean, we didn't even realize what was happening because we were just walking by, looking for a friend of us that was supposed to arrive to the main station, and we got stopped by the police. They asked to us our IDs. They checked us, our bags and ourselves as well, looking for weapons. They asked to Jerome if he was carrying a knife or something. And they said, okay guys, you know, if you are not aware of the fact that here there is a big demonstration, know that there are some areas that are forbidden. The red area is forbidden. And if whatever cop will meet you again in this area, you will be immediately arrested. Then Jerome, you asked why to them. Why will we be arrested? And they said that this is the German law, basically. They didn't add anything else. It's very strange. We have been in the Hauptbahnhof for a while, and where there were, not even 50 demonstrators, and the police was hundreds. But they were anyways a small group, and there was much more police than them, and they were basically repressing them massively. And they arrested 2 girls in the end.
So it seems that they are kettling and taking away all the demonstrators, but they are also targeting other people, and more than anything foreign people, because they think that all the foreign people have come to smash up the city, basically.
Probably, yes. And especially we saw that they have this corps of the police that is in charge of taking pictures of they are all dressed in black. They are policemen, but they are all dressed in black, and they go around with cameras, and they took pictures of the people, and I don't know, to identify them or something. I don't have an idea.
Have you been photographed too?
We don't know, I guess so, because
they're everywhere. They're constantly taking pictures of everyone. They're just walking around with a camera like you have, and they just go and they shoot everyone's faces. They have these systems that allow them to recognize the faces, so they're put into a system, and certain faces that trigger an alarm bell will just, I don't know what happens, but they'll go after you. It's crazy.
Do you have something to add?
No, not at the moment. Let's see and let's wait.
No, but the crazy thing is that this is the most... I've been to many protests in many different countries in Europe over the past year especially, but this is the most insane repression I've ever seen. Not in terms of violence necessarily, but just in terms of police organization and ensuring that no one can even come here to protest in the first place. So
they are repressing the groups, basically. They are repressing all the groups of people that are walking around in the city. It's crazy.
It is 10 minutes to 5, and behind me we see some of the people detained by the police for further action in the police station. All of the little bit less than 200 demonstrators have gone through a procedure of identification, photographing and search of their belongings. We do not have information of how many have been detained. The time of detention can be up to 4 days.